Sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah. Sing hallelujah, sing hallelujah.
For some of you who don't know, when you are filming Drag Race, you are in isolation yourself. And I think that very traumatic experience kind of like make this whole quarantine situation super easy to deal with, because you are just focusing on yourself, you are learning your lyrics, you are learning your steps and getting ready for the next day. And I think that little boot camp during the summer helped me to handle this whole crisis.
We are also cut off from our mobile devices. We don't have access to talk to family or friends. So that in itself was sort of like its own little preparation for what we're doing now. Luckily, we still have social media and ways to communicate nowadays. But yeah, I think that was definitely a good little test run for this quarantine business.
I mean, I guess it showed me how to be patient, because I'm not a patient bitch, and binge watch America's Next Top Model, because that's literally all I've been doing.
I learned in Drag Race how to survive with your own thoughts. We spent a lot of time alone in our hotel rooms, which was obviously, you know, crazy, but it helped us focus a lot and kind of prepare for our challenges or things we were working on. So I'm using this time alone, you know, in my apartment to work on things drag related and not drag related.
Ooh, you know, I don't really know if I could have learned anything that would have helped me through quarantine, because I hated the quarantine while I was there. It was definitely a lot harder because it was mainly just sticking in those earbuds and listening to every single lip sync song. And then if I wasn't doing that, I was probably just trying to find something to watch on television, but there weren't very many options, so it was usually the Property Brothers, because they were like the most attractive people I could find on the television.
The biggest skill that I gained from quarantining in the hotel room to now my apartment is my skill of watching the Property Brothers from dusk to dawn. Very, very adamant about watching them. But I think the other things are, I journal a lot. I like to, I was doing that in the hotel room. I would always write down what I'm feeling. And I think that that's a good thing to do, especially during quarantine right now, because we have a lot of feelings and it's crazy with everything going on. And I try not to judge myself with any of the feelings that I have. And so I just write them down into a little journal and I go about my day.
On the show, we were doing stuff nonstop, 24 hours a day, but then those weekends being sequestered, you were very lonely. You had only yourself to keep you company. So I think just being sequestered alone kind of prepared me in a lot of ways, because it's like, girl, you just learn to just chill when you have downtime, just relax in it. I have, when I do get stressed out, I'm like, just chill out, it will be fine. This will be over hopefully very soon, but I don't know how many times I can say hopefully before it's over.
I really learned to find therapy within myself, and I was able to kind of have conversations with myself, and I realized that it's okay and you don't have to be embarrassed to talk to yourself, because everybody does it and they're lying if they say they don't.
The last time I was in quarantine was when I was at Drag Race, being in that hotel room and not being able to escape and only having 30 minutes to go outside or to the gym. So that's very similar. That's what I learned. I learned how to deal with quarantine. I have much more freedom than I did at Drag Race. You know, sleeping a lot. Sleep is one thing that I don't get much of, so it's nice to go to sleep when I want to and then wake up whenever I want to. That's very nice. Yeah, just trying to stay creative and just trying to, you know, I think this is a great downtime to just really prepare for what's ahead and to just get ready to slay all the children once all this is done.
I mean, if I could be, you know, in a high pressure situation like Drag Race and being locked in my hotel room for numerous of days and, you know, being by myself, I could do being in quarantine and, you know, liquor on demand because, you know, the grocery store is down the street. So, you know, I don't have to leave the house unless I need certain things. And at Drag Race, you couldn't leave at all. So it prepared me to, like, be stuck by myself if I had to.
Absolutely nothing. just nothing. No, yeah, I know, I learned a lot. One thing that I learned at Drag Race that has really helped me during quarantine is the ability to ask for help from my sisters. So whenever I feel like this experience isn't really happening because it can feel kind of surreal while we're inside, I'll call my sisters, and it makes it feel a little bit more, this experience feel a little bit more human and a little bit more real.
I'm okay with being alone. Like, a lot of the time I used to be scared of being alone, especially growing up. I was always scared of being alone, but I'm okay with it. I'm not scared of it. So yeah, I learned that and it helped me prepare for it now, so voila. Oh, what I think about now during isolation is, what am I going to eat later is usually what comes to mind first, because, you know, she's a foodie. I like to plan my meal while I'm eating another meal. But no kale. Remember this, no kale, ever. So if you're feeling down in isolation, I know how it feels. So try to find your happy place. You know, my happy place is food, and which is crazy. But you can also find your happy place. It might be in a book. It might be looking out the window. It might be playing video games, something. You know, just find your peace, find your joy.
So to everyone who's home and is like going crazy, just create something, doodle something, write something down, write a poem. When's the last time you wrote a poem? For me, probably 3rd grade. Do something that will get your creativity flowing, and know that even though you're confined or alone, you still have power to make beauty in the world.